Hello and welcome, everybody. Hello and welcome. Can everyone hear us?
I can hear you.
Hi. Hello and welcome. Hi, Steve.
Hey.
Welcome to you. This is Rancor Steve. I am also Steve, better known as Canadian Spider-Man. Rancor Steve. You've been. I love travel. You love.
Yeah.
You went to Russia, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was fun.
What does this mean
See,
for
I
the
don't
Stark of
even
Iron?
know.
Stark of Iron.
I think
Man,
I
thank
don't
you for
even
mentioning.
know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I think
think
they're
that means
I
I
think it's
I think that means cheers. I'm gonna get a beverage. Do you have a beverage?
I
Vodka?
do. I do. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Google Translate. Where are you? Where are you?
I don't have vodka, but this is Russia's most famous beer. How
Awesome.
are you doing, Steve? Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. It's fun. I haven't talked about this trip in 10 years. It's been about
Oh,
10 years.
okay.
Yeah.
William Shakespeare. What? Do you speak Russian too, William?
I think they
What's up?
went to Google Translate. I think that's what they
No,
did.
he's traveled a
Mm.
lot,
Oh,
Mr.
he
William
has? Maybe
Shakespeare.
he
He
knows.
has
Maybe.
traveled a lot.
I don't know. I would see. I'm the type of guy. I don't know lick of any other language. I'll just do it on Google Translate.
So did you take a translator device to Russia, or how did you get a
No, so before I went, my background was cinematography and
yes.
photography, film editing, and all that crazy stuff in film.
God
And
damn
there was a church I went to, and there's an organization that they asked this church, "Hey, we want to do a um a mission trip. When you guys do this mission trip, we want you to do a sports video and to get
Ooh,
people kind of hooked onto it." And then they asked me, I was like, "Cool, all right, I'm totally down." Raised some money for it, and I think I raised about a year's worth. I raised a total of like a year to raise money to do this trip, and they helped pay for some of
wow.
it.
Like
And
selling Girl Scout cookies and so forth
no, it's
on
just I
driveways,
sent out a
raising
letter.
money.
I sent out a letter to like, "Hey, help fund this." And mine was a little bit different because I wasn't going there on the mission trip to do mission trip stuff. Mine was mainly to
Right.
film. And
Okay.
I took everything in a backpack of all the equipment. And I think it was around like 50 pounds I carried. And I was there for a month.
You took film equipment to Russia.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. A
Are
really
you
funny story.
insane?
No,
Do
so
you like the anal probing? Is that what you were after?
you know, a dollar's a dollar, you know.
You got balls, man. You
Well,
took
okay, so
a
here's the
bag full of
crazy
film equipment to Russia, pretending to be all Mr. Innocent.
here's the thing. I went there and when we got into Frankfurt, Germany, they right before we get into Russia, we stopped at Frankfurt, Germany twice actually. The way there and then on the way back. Really, Frankfurt, Germany is really beautiful. I love it. And so is Brussels.
I've
And
not.
the German military came in, the military police or whoever they are, they came in at the airport and they wanted to check my bag because they were kind of suspicious. I had to carry it on.
Yeah.
It was a DSLR camera and not like real film. It was all digital stuff and it was all my laptop and everything. And they're like, "We need to look at your bag." And they all had
Okay.
their assault rifles. And I was like, "Yeah, you can check it." All in the airplane. They
Go
just
ahead.
checked it right then and there. I was like, "Yeah, go, please go for it. Knock yourself out." And then they were like, "Okay." It was a little suspicious when I was in Russia. I did meet up with not me. I did not go seek him out. Um, the mafia, the Russian mafia stopped me because they were watching me, and then I had the KBG follow me
The
because like coming
KGB,
out, yeah,
but they're
those
in
guys,
Germany. They crossed the border.
the Russians.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, the Russians
So,
have KGB as well.
mhm. So you can tell the Russian mafia. No, I will not sit down with you guys. I met them in St. Petersburg, but the Russian, the big guys, they sat me down. They wanted to know what am I doing here in Russia, and I was like, "Oh, I'm filming for a sports video." They're like, "Okay." That was it.
Mm.
I was scared out of my mind when that happened. I was like, "Man."
They like sports, right?
Yeah. I think I have a photo of them playing sports. If not, I can explain that. Uh, yeah, it's so yeah, carrying around a bag, a backpack of all your film stuff, it's a little nerve-wracking. I carried it on the entire time, but it was fun. I enjoyed it very much.
I was gonna say that's heavy gear, but
Yeah. My back
film
was
equipment
built.
is. I
After that
back when
trip,
I
I
first
had
started
some
backpacking.
quads, some traps. I was
It
like,
was
I'm built.
at least you're not. Yeah, you're a pretty athletic guy. It's a good thing, and you're not carrying around film. Back in the day, man, I used to have the lead bag to put your film in
Oh,
for
I
the
know what you're
rate,
talking about.
and lead bag. Surprisingly, it's heavy, lead and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they let you put that through the friggin' X-ray machine.
Yeah,
It's
and hope that it doesn't
crazy.
get damaged.
Yeah, but they can't, but they never once looked inside to make sure it was film.
Oh.
I'm Canadian. We're trustworthy. I
Yeah,
was
there you go.
literally a
It's the
Boy
Canadian.
Scout.
They're like, oh, this guy's
Literally,
Canadian. Let
just
them
want to
on by.
say hello to Pleasant Valley Picker. Hello to you, Susan Dolan. I saw you're in the chat. Suzanne Eckstein. Hello to you, William Shakespeare. Stark of Iron. Thank you so much for being in there, buddy. Yeah, great to see everybody. Welcome. Yes, Stark Raid. Yes, Tony Stark was promoting me in his stream, so thank you so
That's
much
cool.
for that. Really appreciate that. So, yeah, how long were you in Russia?
I was there for a month. It was
Wow,
end of June, half of June,
Max
and then
Echo.
half of July. And
Okay, good times to be there. It's not Siberian winter. Hello, Miskatonic Madman.
no, it's not. There is a photo. Well, we'll get to that when we get there, and
Mhm.
I'll ask everyone in the chat what
Okay,
that question. I asked you the same question. Don't give out the answer. It's pretty crazy when I explain that one in Russia,
hello and
like the
welcome,
time
Jason.
zones and everything.
Yeah, I was going to say Russia is bigger than Canada, even though it's separated. The USSR is no longer. Russia still is bigger than Canada by a little bit. How many time
Russia
zones?
Russia
Yes,
is both Europe and Asia.
crazy.
I
And
did not know
culturally,
that.
they look like it. I mean, they look like it facially. If you look at people from very eastern Russia, I
Mhm.
swear they look Japanese-ish to me, and
Yes.
also Inuit, like Eskimo, like Native Alaskan Canadian as well. You can see the
Yeah.
facial resemblance. It's incredible.
They hate each other. Like, not
Oh,
like we're gonna
heads
go to
on.
war, but they just hate each other. There's a
Yeah,
town there's a city that's right next to Europe, Russia, that's in Asia, Russia.
true.
They just hate each other just because
But
Asia and
they're all
Europe.
Russians, though, right?
They are, but it's that cultural. It's like, well, you're Asian and I'm Europe, and it's a
Okay,
weird. The
it's like the French
history of
and the
Russia
English,
is the most fascinating because when you look at it, being an American and learning world history, American history is like getting close to 300 years. Like European
right?
history is
Yeah.
like ridiculous. So I'm learning
Yeah.
history on it. I'm like,
Hello,
I learned
Kristen.
a lot about World War II through people
Yes,
in Russia.
fascinating
It was a
to see it
lot of
from their
stuff.
side.
Oh, I learned
Like when I
more
was
stuff there than I
right?
did. Yeah, it's really
Yes.
fascinating.
I've
Like,
spent a lot of time in World War II sites, Steve, as you know, on purpose. A lot of the European World War II sites, and in Japan, I purposely went to museums to see their side of World War II on purpose.
mhm,
Absolutely. So, so
yeah.
what? So you've got an appreciation a little bit a month there. That's enough to pick up the culture and sort of the way of life. And did you get a chance to go and do daily activities like buying groceries and going to a laundromat and going to a
Yeah,
pub and
it's so I did do groceries here and there. I have really bad allergies, and there's something there that just hit me. So I ended up buying a box of Claritin Clear every
Okay.
day, and I was spending money every day almost because I would have the entire pack in one day. I had
Oh
really
my
bad
God.
allergies there.
I
It
don't think
was
that's recommended.
ridiculous. I looked it up and they said, "Yeah, you're not gonna get an OD or anything." I was like popping them like crazy, like candy. I started chewing on them. I was like, "Man, my allergies are crazy."
Can you
But
drink and do those?
yeah.
Yes, you can.
Well, I mean, I did, but near the end
Hey,
of the
Christopher
trip,
Domingo,
it
thank you. Soccer is popular.
oh, it is. At the end of the trip, I had True vodka and I had some beers, just
Okay,
because it was with the church group and I didn't wanna cross that line and stuff.
of
But doing
course.
laundry, there was a house that we were staying at and they allowed us to do laundry there. And so it was pretty chill. The
So,
food
so
is
you get
fan
to you get
what?
to experience the regular daily life of the Russian people.
I stayed in a village of Veliki Luki. Veliki
What?
Luki. That's what it's called, dude. Veliki
Where
Luki.
is it?
It's
In relation to, I only know where Moscow is and Kiev,
so I think it's
or where Kiev used to be.
um here, this is what I can do. I can look this up right
And
now.
how much weight did you put on in a month there? Asks Suzanne Eckstein.
Not much.
Not
I didn't
much.
really gain much weight. It was a lot of cabbage.
Hello, Miskatonic Madman. Good to see you. Yep, indeed.
Let's look this
Max
up. I'm
Hedrum,
very
good to
curious
see
now.
you. Russia is the biggest country in the world, both within Europe and Asia. Yes. And after this year, they might just get a little bit bigger. Well, to be fair, the people there have twice voted to join Russia, and they do identify as Russians. So, anyway, we are the biggest democracy. That is by it depends on how you. It depends. By land mass, we are the biggest democracy, but by population, India is by far the largest
Mhm.
democratic country in the world. And that's what gives me hope, PvP. That's what gives me hope for democracy in the world is, yes, we've got the United States, and yes, we have Canada and Australia, and yeah, we're powerful. But India has a population. It's the biggest population in the world. What are they up to? Like 1.4 billion? They're more than China now.
Yeah.
And they are democratic. So that gives me hope.
So Veliki Luki, the village I was at, is roughly about 6 hours drive to Moscow, but we did
Okay.
train. So it's a 16-hour train ride.
16 hours.
Yeah.
Was it comfy?
It wasn't bad. We landed not in Moscow. Yeah, we landed closer to Veliki Luki, which was like a 12-hour or so train ride, something like that. Um, it wasn't too bad. So since I'm from the South, like I'm used to villages and just more downgraded places. People there are fantastic. It's a
Down home
cultural.
friendly.
Yeah, they were very comforting, and there's some pictures in. I'll explain something very interesting about beards and tattoos in villages in Russia, which is really interesting because if you have a beard in a village, they think you're a priest, but if you have tattoos, they think, "Oh, you're an ex-con." I had both. So they didn't know if I was a priest that was an ex-con or ex-con who became a priest. They were very
Ooh,
confused.
no kidding.
Yeah, they were
PvP,
all
just to address this, you're absolutely right. It is, our history is disappearing. Canada, as much of as a ridiculous things we do these days, we were very important in World War II. You're right. We were given responsibility to protect the entire North Sea. We built a lot of submarines and destroyers to attack the German submarines. We are responsible for controlling the North Atlantic so that we could have supplies back and forth to Britain. absolutely. And we had destroyers. We shifted into gear. We were inspired by America, I think. Shifted it. No, because we were first. You guys didn't join. You were Johnny Come Latelys, and we started building destroyers like St. John, New Brunswick, where Jeff lives, and Comic Relief Crusader is familiar with St. John. We have a naval shipbuilding yard there that started pumping out destroyers. So,
we
yeah,
came
we
in
did
a little late. You
we did
know,
important things.
we were late to the party.
But I'm glad you showed up because we were,
We helped clean up
without
things.
you.
Here's a question I have for you, and then
Yes.
we can do. You guys can have more questions. Who ended World War II? This is an interesting question.
Japan by surrendering, I believe.
Nope. Russia.
Russia? Oh, they essentially didn't they?
Yeah,
Like,
there's a
Russian
everyone
men
thinks
to
it's
do it.
America. No, we only joined
Hey,
in
look
because
who's
Japan,
in
all that
Japan.
stuff. But yes, like Harry Russian.
Well, don't we all? Food is amazing. That's why I asked. Okay, Suzanne. Yes. And I didn't see a lot. I did go. We went through your pictures, Steve, together because we're a professional organization here. I didn't see a lot of food pictures. What's up with that? You're not a guy that takes pictures of his food like other.
Not really. It's a lot of just cabbage and porridge. I eat a lot of that stuff. I gained
Okay.
probably I'll lie. I gained probably about 10 pounds, but that's all cabbage and being bloated. And it was just a lot. They don't do meat the way we usually do here
Oh,
in most
okay.
places. Yeah, they don't.
Hello, Andy.
Like they didn't allow any of the guys to go in the kitchen to cook. It was just like the women are going to cook for all of us because it was a mission team. And I was like, well, no, I cook. Like I'm an actual cook. And so they let me cook with them. Oh man, the ladies loved it. They're like, oh my gosh.
Well, but you weren't there to cook. That was not your.
No,
That
I
was
was
not
there
your.
to strictly film.
Right. And so what's this? Let's get right into that. What is that? Looks like what the hell is that?
So that is a Canon 7D with a mic, a Rode mic on the top part, and that which ended up not really needing. I didn't really need it per se, only when they were doing translations, like if someone was talking and doing translations. And that's a 50mm lens, which is one of my favorite lenses. And then the rig
Okay.
it's part of is where I can kind of like hold it up all against my shoulders, or I can like different ways I can actually hold it.
What are the legs? The legs rest against your chest?
Yeah, so it holds it here, and then it wraps around over here. So it's kind of like a Steadicam, so I can hold it like that. But I hated doing that because I'm old
Is it
school.
heavy?
I just held. Not really. It's just over time it does. But then I just set it up to where I can have it against my hip and then just kind of pan it around like this and do it that way. That's how I mainly filmed doing that. But
And did
it was
did normal Russians, were they a bit freaked out, or is this every day for them over there?
not
'Cause this
really.
is
They were
pretty
more freaked
high-tech
out by
gear.
my beard. They were more freaked out by my beard, with there's some pictures of that. They were very confused.
Ooh.
But it's when they see a camera, everyone's all like, "Oh my gosh, what's this for?" They thought it was for like a feature film. Like they were like, "Ooh, we're gonna be in Hollywood now," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is."
Well, Suzanne Dalton says, Rancor Steve, you should have told the villagers that you were a priest with a prison ministry.
I did give my testimony at an actual prison,
Okay. Christopher
which
Dominguez
was
says Russia has the deepest freshwater lake in the world called Lake Baikal.
yes, they do.
Did you go there?
No, we didn't.
Sorry, you were saying?
I did give my testimony, and which I didn't want to do, but the prisoners the inmates wanted to hear my testimony, and also a halfway house of people who've been in prison, and they work on this little farm thing that they do, which is really cool. They're like super nice. That's the crazy thing. Oh man. Like
Andy.
everyone there is super nice. They're like, yeah, we've been to prison, but hey, we're working to better our lives. And I was like, man, that's cool.
And you met him in prison.
Not him. They start young.
What's the story on this little boy?
So he's
Do you
one of
have children that we don't know about?
No, he's one of the kids of one of the interpreters from the church, and they love to play volleyball in Russia.
Oh.
It's like, I'm not kidding you. Volleyball was invented in California. They're better than us by a
Wow.
long shot. It was fun. We played volleyball every day. It was ridiculous. But it was fun. He was always around whenever I had the
beach
camera out. He
volleyball.
just wanted to be on the camera. He's all like popping his head
Nice.
in. Yeah. So he was
Cool.
all like, oh my gosh, he's never seen that side of it. And
does he speak English at all, or could you communicate
No.
with the little boy?
Not-
Can you communicate with a Russian that young?
no, yeah, there was no, it was really hard for me to understand what people were saying, but
Mhm.
they had a blast. And there were some that could actually speak English pretty well.
Who's Brittany Griner?
I have who?
Brittany Griner? Grenier?
I don't know.
No idea. Yes. Justin Thoreau. Now, isn't that a writer? Gary Ambrosia. Hello to you, sir, and welcome.
Justin
we were just looking
Theroux.
at Gary's offspring in Russia.
Yeah. What?
He's just telling us stories of his children that he hasn't seen in a long time.
I know.
When's the last time you saw this little guy?
10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, you don't keep in touch.
I went there in 2015.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Excellent.
So it's been a while.
Fantastic. And what is, yeah.
So
that's just the architecture. Incredible. Right?
So this is in St. Petersburg. This was the last of the trip, on the last few days in the trip. And so this is where I ended up having vodka and beer and stuff because I was beat. I was like, man, I'm tired. We went on a river, like little canal type place, and that's the Hermitage. If you ever heard of it, it's a massive, ridiculous museum. And it takes about 3 hours to do the tour. I did it in an hour. Not even. I think I did it in 30 minutes because once you see one painting, you've seen them all. I went through it. I was like, but it was kind of cool to actually see it. I was like, this is the
paintings are massive, I imagine.
Yeah. So coming from like being in a small village in Russia, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then coming to like Europe, like this is a tourist destination of Europe. It's really nice. So it's like I got to see both sides of Europe. It was kind of cool.
That's Gary Ambrosia. Excuse me. Rancor Steve is a love child of, Vladimir Putin and Justin Trudeau. He couldn't spell Trudeau correctly.
Oh, if you guys look up a young Vladimir Putin, no, not Vladimir Putin, a young Lenin.
It's true.
I look like a young Lenin. That's why some people are very confused. They're like, "Is this like
you showed us that
birth
picture.
child?" I know. Some people in the village just thought I was related to Lenin. I was like, no, I'm not even Russian at all.
Suzanne, that's amazing. Wow. Yeah, thank goodness the war ended exactly, PvP. Yes, Gary Ambrosia. Just okay, thank you, because I had no friggin' idea who you're talking about. You shave your head so he doesn't look like Fidel Castro. Andy Masterson, wow. With friends like these, who needs with friends like Gary and Andy?
I know, right?
Well, you knew they were gonna be here to taunt you, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, I've got a close up of that guy. See?
So that's just a statue I saw in St. Petersburg, and I was like, that's kind of cool looking. Yeah, it's the art
type of thing typical.
Yeah. And it's massive. Like in the big cities, it's especially in St. Petersburg, they keep their history. Like that's the thing about Russia. They're very knowledgeable of their stuff, and
more so than America.
They respect the history of everything. Here in America, and I don't know, maybe in Canada it's a little bit different, but here in America we don't give two craps almost, and it's kind of sad because I really love American history. I think it's fascinating, and it's just you don't get that anymore. It's all about stupid stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Russia does have fascinating history, but you know, there are not every, there are some people in America that are doing incredible things to
Oh
preserve
yeah,
history, and those
and
people do deserve credit. And one day we'll be thankful that they have.
yes, very much so. If you okay,
Ooh.
so this church is called the Blood Stairs, the Blood Steps,
Ooh.
because that
And
was one of the churches in World War II where that church defended off soldiers in World War II, and the steps were all bloody. So it got the name. I think it was either Blood Steps or Red Steps
is
because
that in Red
it
Square?
no, this is in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
It's a
Oh,
massive
right.
church,
Well,
just a
where's Red Square?
massive. I think it's in Moscow.
Ah, of course it
Yeah,
is. Yes. So I've been
which
drinking
I
beers
wanted
all
to
the time
go.
in
That's
Moscow.
one place I really wanted to check out. Like,
Yes.
it's fascinating.
Oh, Susan next team, Canadian Spider-Man. She's the athlete that was caught with the weed. Yes.
Oh, the dude.
Right. Right. And they sent her back, and there's an American
The dude.
veteran that's still over there. They chose her instead. Yeah, I heard
The
about
dude who's disguised as another dude.
Right. Why would you try? See, I'm a fan of herbal recreation. When I travel, Steve, except for Australia, I'm straight arrow. Like I do not want to end up in a foreign prison, especially not in Russia.
Here's the
I mean,
thing.
you'd learn the language, I guess.
This is what I'll say about Russia. They are pro-Christian. Like ever since Putin came in, he was very much like it's Christianity, like ridiculous.
Right.
And if you have any like ounce of weed on you,
Okay.
yeah, it's like don't
Oh
look
yeah. Devil's
suspicious.
lettuce. 100%.
So like that was the one thing. There was very much like, look, it's religion is very important in Russia, and drugs,
Religion.
no.
No, and fair, but their society's done pretty good so far. Like they haven't gone off the rails, I guess.
It is, but it's
Other than
because I
losing a lot
think
of cheap
someone told me
cars.
in Russia because of the alcohol with a lot of the men,
Yeah,
that's the problem. So they were like, look,
yeah,
we need to make a stop of this because alcohol is already a problem there.
it's a
And a
problem.
lot of the men, like when a couple gets married, it only lasts for a few years because the men they're just stupid. And the women are just left with the kids and the men just go off, do whatever they want. And it's sad, but it's like that's the culture. And the women there
Wow,
just like, yeah, it's
wow.
the women there are awesome. They're like, we'll cook, clean, whatever. It's, we may not see our husband for like 6 months straight, but we're gonna
Wow.
provide. We're gonna provide, keep the house clean so when he comes home. I'm like, holy
Yes, he
crap.
does.
Like what?
Gary Ambrosia says Rancor Steve really does look a little like Lennon.
Da. Da means yes in Russian, and
Right.
and
See, you did learn.
spasiba means thank you. That's all I got. those 2 words, da and spasiba.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
no just means, or no, it's na. I think na means no.
Okay. You didn't know. You didn't learn how to order beer. Yeah, I heard
No,
that.
because when you're in St. Petersburg, they all speak English. When you're in the village, they don't speak at all.
Tony.
Yeah, the Lennon look. If we put him in a glass box, we can save on prop costs.
Always thinking, that guy Tony. He's always thinking for the community. Once you've seen one painting, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
To a degree, Pleasant Valley. When I was in the Louvre, I went there 5 days in a row because we had a multi-pass, and I literally held it up. The multi-pass. Of course, you're fucking right. I did. Me and my buddy. Multi-pass, and we just walked in. We actually used the Louvre as a coat check once because we had a multi-pass and we could just go in and check our coats, and we didn't want to carry them around Paris. So
You sound like an American tourist for just hearing that story. That's a very Midwest thing.
I got to tell you, to be honest, I have a little admission here, and I'm going to admit it on camera. When I'm acting like an asshole out in the world, I do tell people I'm an American. 100%.
I knew it. I knew it. Hey, you know what? Just say you're from California. It all makes sense.
That's right. You have a sickle and a hammer tattoo?
I don't. I don't. Oh, I knew that was gonna be asked. No, I don't
Oh,
have
dear
a
good. So this is a
hammer.
beautiful building. This
Oh,
is
it's gorgeous.
fantastic. What do
They
you know
wouldn't let
about
us in. I was like, dang it.
it? Okay. Right next
was
to your
like, "Come
jail
on."
tattoo? Just
Yeah.
Stop Oil tattoo. You do have a Just Stop Oil tattoo, don't you?
Yes. It's on the
Very
lower
neat.
back. It's the hammer and
Just
sickles on the
digging,
lower
you're
back
right.
with the I know.
Good friends of yours, these guys.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I take it like a champ.
Russian kid was an attention whore. Could have been a YouTuber. Yeah. Did you see any streamers there or YouTube? It wasn't a thing.
Not really. No, it's I was when I was in St. Petersburg, I just kind of took it all in. And it was like I saw a bunch of people with the selfie sticks or whatever, which was
Oh,
kind
of
of funny.
course.
Because what I would do is I'd put my head in right at the corner. So it's kind of like this. And you just see my head just pop just slightly in. I just
Okay.
aimed it right. So there's
So you're
probably
in the
about
frame.
10,000 selfies with my face in there. I do it every time I'm at a theme park, anywhere. It doesn't matter.
To people you don't know.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious.
So it looks like there's a fair bit of people here.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that a
It
horse?
was.
That's a
Yeah,
horse.
it's a horse and buggy.
There's two of them. Maybe. Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's a girl. It's just a bigger
That's
girl. Okay. Was there a lot of horses around?
Yeah. In St. Petersburg, there was.
Yeah. St. Petersburg just seems like
Oh,
so
it's a fantastic
historical and
place.
so
I love it there.
elegant.
Yeah, I love it there. The Hermitage. If anyone's in St. Petersburg, go to the Hermitage. It is such a fantastic. The history behind that is crazy.
Well, yeah, Pleasant Valley says he'd love to see the Hermitage. That's a fascinating museum. And were there things in English that you could read?
Yeah, they had things in
Susan Dolan says, have either of you guys ever watched a YouTube channel called Crazy Russian Hacker?
Yes.
He tests various MREs
Yeah.
and various other items from kitchen and outdoors. He's currently collecting Pokemon cards. I don't know what an MRE is.
MRE. Oh, it's the military stuff. The food, I think.
MOUSE Mickey Mouse. No, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. I have not. I've heard of this fella. I have heard of him. I've never seen.
He's cool. I like him. I used to watch him a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually ended up before I went.
Hey!
See, there's the beard I had. I looked like a prisoner.
Should I get Chuck Norris on the line? Yeah, we might need him to bust. Canada does have history. Yeah, we do. But again, when you're in Europe, when you set foot, when you step off the plane into a country that has history like Russia or like Asia or like Europe, it's not like getting off the plane in Australia. It's not like getting off the plane in Canada or even America. There's a sense of history. It's tangible. It hits you in the face. It's all around you. The history, the thousands of people that have stood right where you are. There are spots in Canada that I can go that I'm sure no human has ever set foot right within my dooryard.
Probably.
I mean, really. I mean, natives were all over the place, but not that many. I mean, there are places. But in Europe and Russia, like in St. Petersburg, they've had a city there for what? How old? 1,000 years? I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like it's pretty cool. The Hermitage. It's actually it's considered a palace, and this guy just kept on adding on to his palace, and it just grew into this whole entire thing. And it's such a cool. I think I have pictures inside the Hermitage that I have.
Oh,
I think I sent some of them in there.
Oh, probably not, Suzanne. But you know what? When I travel, like I said, I don't do anything silly. When I travel, I do not want to end up in a foreign prison. I've never been in prison unless I was there on a tour. knocking on wood. So, yeah, how did you find walking around with a beard in the summer?
Not too bad. I have no idea what building that was. It was
That's
just
a
cool.
cool looking building.
Yeah.
So this is typical downtown.
Yeah. St. Petersburg. The beard
St.
wasn't too bad. It just wasn't taken care of because it was the longest I've ever had it at the time, and I didn't have the beard wash and beard shampoo and all that stuff.
Niet, Comrade Steve, says
Yet.
Starkevire. He does speak a few Russian words for his different acts, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what it is. Niet. That's what it was. Yep. Also, I was told to never do a Russian accent in Russia.
Yeah, Turkish prison. No, I've never been in a Turkish prison, Andy Masterson. I am too pretty to go to prison. Too little and too pretty.
That's what
you can be fast, but it doesn't help you when you're in walls. You know, being fast does not help me with the walls.
But yeah, that was. Yeah. I took that picture real quick just because we were walking.
Ooh,
I don't know. Again, I don't know what that was. It was cool looking. I was like, that's kind of cool. It's probably some like Elon Musk satellite dish.
It's a rocket church.
I know, right? It's Elon Musk's first rocket in Russia, in motherland Russia.
Yes, Eugene. Lilo Dallas. Multipass. Yeah, all around Paris. It was great. Multipass. It didn't work for the Eiffel Tower. Did you know the Eiffel Tower is not a public monument? It is privately owned, so the multipass did not work. Yeah, it's privately owned. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were in line and it started raining, and the girl in front of us had a white blouse, and we gave her our jacket because.
And you're like, oh, how you doing? How you doing,
dude? It was see through, but like,
well, yeah, they're all French. They all see through.
It was awesome. Yes, the World Museum's PvP, absolutely. The Louvre's fantastic, and you can't see the Louvre in one day because they. Out of all the 5 or 6 or whatever 7 sections there are, they close one down each day and do maintenance.
You want to bet I can do it all in one day?
But one of the sections is going to be closed.
It doesn't matter. I can do it in one day. I guarantee it. That could be a world record. I can visit every single room in one day.
I did. I ran through the Louvre when I was 19.
See, that's how you do it. You run through it and you say, I've seen it. I'm good.
So many people were pissed off. I was like a 19-year-old kid running through with a backpack.
I mean, once you've seen one.
But I didn't. Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. It's like I
just wanted to see it all. Like, am I missing anything? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
so
cool.
This is were there a lot of churches in Russia?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Like, there was on one street, I think there was 5, like one block, there was 5 churches lined up. I'm like, dang, this is a lot of people.
Until you've been to the Rembrandt House Museum in Amsterdam, your life is not complete. Man, I've been to Amsterdam 5 times. I've never heard of that. Shit.
Really? Even I haven't. I've never been there.
No, I've been to the Van Gogh Museum. Actually, I got this. Hang on, I got this here.
Oh, he's been to Van Gogh. Did you have to cut one ear off just to go in? That's a payment to get in?
No, it was expensive though. No, this is a Van Gogh print I got in that museum. Ooh, actually, I wrote it down. Yeah, well, it's got my full name on it, so I'm not gonna put that there. I almost did that.
What it says, guys, in the back is, I cut my left ear off to go into this museum.
Yep, that is a Van Gogh that I picked up from the Van Gogh Museum. And that is a self-portrait, apparently, of him smoking some sort of a cigarette.
Hey, man.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Yeah, got it from his museum in Amsterdam, 1999.
1999.
Back in the day. So, I've never been to that museum, but Russia would have fabulous museums. And were they popular? Were people going to
the Hermitage is massive. It's that's the go-to of it.
And
it
was you in the Turkish prison. And were there Russians in there as well as people from other?
Oh yeah, St. Petersburg is a very international tourist spot.
Oh, of course it would be. The soap never stayed dropped with Steve around. Oh, you were okay. I don't know which one of it. See, we're both Steves, so
They mean me. No, wait, no, you, because you talked about. See, it means
yeah,
you.
I don't know. Just put a maple leaf on your shirt and you're good to go. That's true. Yep, that is true. Although people make fun of us for doing that, trust me. As well they should.
Hello
Hi,
there.
the lovely Sherry.
Oh,
Nice
hello
to
there,
meet you.
Sherry.
Or nice to have you here. I yeah, there. Okay, this looks like a canal. Hey,
So that's a
that looks like
canal,
the
and that's
Bridge of
still the
Sighs.
Hermitage. That's still the Hermitage. It's a
There's a
massive.
bridge called the Bridge of Sighs in Venice, and it looks like that. It looks like it's going over a canal of some sort. Very cool, Steve.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was a tour of the whole Hermitage thing. It took a long time.
And so is Rancor Steve. Good to go. Oh, you're not an asshole American. No. There are assholes in every country, I can assure you.
But
Every
America's
country.
number one at it.
Nah, there's a lot of asshole Canadians. According to our prime minister, we're all racists and misogynists.
Well, your prime minister's a dingleberry.
Yeah, he is a dingleberry. What's the difference between a vodka bottle and Steve in the Turkish prison? Only one container stays sealed. Ooh.
Now, which Steve is he talking about? See, that's
I don't know,
the problem.
the vodka bottle wouldn't stay sealed, so that would mean that we would stay sealed. So yes,
Only
I
one
agree.
way to find out there, Steve. Hitch over to the Turkish prison.
Never been to Turkey. I planned on it, and then the whole war in the Ukraine broke out. And COVID. No, sorry, it was COVID broke out. I had a trip planned.
COVID ruined everything for people. You know,
It
that
really did,
cold,
man. I had a
that cold
6 months
from China.
6 month trip ready to go. Heart melting Russian women's. Yeah, were the
Yeah.
Russian women very personable?
Yeah.
Nice. They were friendly.
I was dating at the time, and I ended up getting an engagement ring. That's still the Hermitage. That's one side
That's
of
the
it.
Ghostbusters van, is what I'm looking at.
Oh wait, no, that's the boat. I didn't know that does look like the Ghostbusters.
Kind of.
Who you gonna call Ghostbusters? But there was a lady that asked me, a girl there that asked me in the village, do I want to be her boyfriend? Pretty much saying, hey, will you marry me? So I got
You're
proposed
an
in Russia.
American, and you have
Yeah,
things that I
pretty
can
much
use.
stay away. Anyone who travels to another country, when a woman is hinting at that, run away, run away. Like the men in the Holy
Right.
Grail, run away,
Yep.
run away.
That's right.
because-
Run away.
Yeah,
I do that for women in general.
I kind of
Sometimes
I
visit my
crushed their
grandparents.
feelings. I crushed their feelings because I was like, yeah, I'm engaged, and they're all like, so they didn't talk to me for a long time because they were playing sports, and so when we were in the village playing volleyball, it's like there's like a group of kids that just connected with us because they were playing sports, and they're like, hey, that's cool.
There's a canal. Ooh, canals. Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. If you ever wanted to know what I had looked like with hair, there I am.
There you go. Christopher Dominguez says sometimes when I visit my grandparents' place, they watch some Russian TV shows. That would be cool to see. I enjoy watching TV shows in Japanese or Spanish if I'm in those
Russian
places.
TV is just all Russian roulette.
I get it. You, Rasputin. I'm still alive. There you go. You kind of do look like Rasputin a little bit there, Steve.
Maybe I do. Maybe I met him.
Catherine the Great was an amazingly forward-thinking lady. Yes, I've heard that as well. We did have to study her in history. You have a tramp stamp, Steve? Really? And
I don't.
You think so?
Well, he always thinks a lot of things.
He does. Well, yeah.
So does
Yeah,
Gary.
a lot of those in the military. Hermetically sealed food stored for years and eaten in wartime when there's not a kitchen setup. I see.
Yeah, I've had a few of those. They're not that fantastic. I think it's
Okay.
it's like the like granola energy bar or something like that. At least that's at least
Okay.
tasteful.
Ooh.
So this
looks
is
like the inside of Space Mountain.
That's what I was like, dude. Are we going to Space Mountain? This is a Subway. This is like going down
What?
to it. It took forever.
Is this
Like
an
it was a
escalator?
yeah, it took forever. Like I was
Are
on there
you
for like
seated?
2 minutes. No, you're just standing and just going down.
Wow.
It was cool. So I took a
Into
picture of it. I was like, this is kind of
into
cool
the
looking.
depths of hell. Like you don't know where you're going.
I know, right? I was like, this is where it all ends,
Jeez.
guys. We're doomed.
Yeah, like what if there's an explosion or something down there?
You would be safe
Damn.
actually, because it's so deep down there, no problem. Oh, an explosion under there? Yeah, you're screwed.
I studied this shit in art history, loved it. Yeah, PvP, so did I. Absolutely loved. I mean, no, I didn't study it, but I've studied it. Like, looks. I've been standing in museums studying art for many days on end. Really freaking brave going to Russia. I don't know. They're normal people. Like the Russians love their
Depends on where you're
children
going.
too. Do you mind reading this from Andy Masterson, Steve? If you can read it,
Yeah,
or
hold on
are
right
you away?
quick. No, I'm situating myself because I don't have my full setup on that I do with my main show.
Yeah,
Here
you
we go.
don't need pants for this stream anyway. It's fine.
I have whoa, geez, man. All right, fine.
I'm not wearing them.
Gary Ambrosia. True friends are virtually indistinguishable from mortal enemies.
Ooh.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Andy.
And Steve is also stunning.
I am stunning.
Susan Dolan says, Max Headroom. He also has a farm video called Cool Farm and Just Taras, where he does stuff on his farm with the things he collects. Oh, they're crazy Russian. Yeah, fantastic. Probably a few places that would still execute you for drugs. Yeah, I believe that to be true, PvP. How did you feel while you were there? Asks Eugene Bird.
It was fun. I've been to Dominican Republic. I've been to a lot of different places around the world, and
love Dominican.
It's such a lovely place. And being in Russia, it's not so going there. You hear stories of like Russians are always angry and all this stuff, yada yada yada, and it starts getting in your head. You're like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be bad, whatnot. Being there, it's the people like in the villages. They are the most humble, caring. Like they will cook for you. Like they don't care if you can't speak English. They'll be like, whatever, we'll work around it. Um, like when we left Russia, and then when I got into Germany, I can understand German a lot better. Once I heard the lady like some radio on the trolley to get to the airport here in German, I was like, oh my gosh, I can. It was nice. Like that was the one thing that took me a while. I was like, I can't understand what anyone's saying. That was the weird thing. And then going to another country in Europe that I can understand a little bit of German. Like it's a wave of just like, oh, like the weight's been lifted off your shoulders. But
you couldn't read any of the signs. Like this escalator, you had no idea where you're going down to.
No, I could read German.
Okay.
That's easy for me. I can read German. It takes me a little bit to understand because German is closer to English for me. It's not hard.
Yes.
It's just when you just have to hear people talk. Yeah.
Yep. Same as Dutch.
When we landed in Brussels, before we got to Russia, there was a couple thought I was German.
Love Brussels.
And so they started talking to me in German. I'm like, I think I know what you're saying. It's this one. And then they realized because I had my Red Sox hat, and they're like, "Oh," and they're like, "New York, huh?" And I was like, "How does Boston Red Sox have anything to do with New York?"
Well, they're pretty close to each other.
Then I told them, I was like, "No, Chicago, bang bang."
Susan Dolan says,
"No one
military Russians last 10 years." Wow.
Yeah. Like when I said the couple, the old married couple from Brussels, when they were talking to me in German. I was like, no, Chicago, bang, bang. No one understood it except this one military guy on our trip. He was in the army years ago. He started laughing because he understood what I meant. Stripes. He died laughing. He's like, that's the funniest. And so there was a night where we had a meeting with everyone. That's the Hermitage. Going into the Hermitage, that one. And we couldn't stop laughing for 30 minutes, him and I. we had a meeting, a group meeting of what we're doing for the next day, and him and I just we couldn't stop laughing. They're like, "You got to stop laughing." I was like, "Bite me," because I can't stop laughing. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, going in here, it was so cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Suzanne Eckstein says the architecture in Russia, Germany is beyond stunning. Italy as well. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Germany and Italy, definitely I can attest to that. PvP says, I saw Picasso's blue and rose paintings at the National Museum in 1997. It was amazing. Ooh. Yes, I don't know where, but I have seen a little bit of Picasso.
That's cool.
There was pride in our works, pride in our buildings, our vehicles, all of it in America back in the day. Yeah, well, there's lots of pride in America now, Tony. I'll tell you what. Pride everywhere. Pride sidewalks, flags.
Gary and Andy know about that. They go to the parades all the time.
That's right. I've been to, you know what? I've been to a couple of pride parades in the world. Oh, yeah. Sydney was the most impressive. Sydney, Australia. Smile for the painting. Skulls can't frown. That is true. Skulls cannot frown.
Unless you turn it upside down.
I get, yeah.
If there's a way, there's a will. Or if there's a will, there's a way. Something like that.
Ooh, Suzanne Eckstein is a painter. Okay, cool. Boobies. Where do you see boobies? Is that just
the paintings?
Okay. I mean, hey, it's always a good time for boobies, I suppose.
I take a 2-minute break for every painting with boobies in it.
It is always a good day for boobies. I appreciate that comment. Ooh, this looks cool.
I just thought that was fascinating.
Very cool.
So this is some of the stuff in the Hermitage. 100%. I think this was part of the family that owned the palace.
Yeah, there's a lot of family tradition in Russia, isn't there?
Oh yeah, it's when you get to the royal side of it, yeah.
Okay, William Shakespeare says, well, touche, guys. I missed out on the Van Gogh Museum and also the Anne Frank house. I saw it from the outside. So we have reasons to return to Amsterdam. Oh, I will always go back to Amsterdam.
I bet you will.
Yep. Kriek, I think, is the beer there. The Grasshopper Shop is a good chain.
Ooh, I've heard about that.
Coffee shop. It's a coffee shop.
I know what that one is.
No, that's fantastic. So, was the museum very busy while you? Of course, it's famous.
Yeah, it was pretty busy.
Wow, that is very cool. Hey, that's a very old classical way of doing paintings. I've seen this all in many European styles, where you've got the big painting in the middle and then the two smaller ones on the side. That is in a wooden frame, exactly like that.
Yeah, it's very traditional in Russia. Like the older people, they'll have it in their houses in the small villages. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no kidding. Christopher Dominguez says, a good friend of ours, says this part of St. Petersburg reminds me of Venice, Italy. Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. The bat bug. What bat bug, Tony? I might have missed that. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been a few decades since I've been to Venice, but yeah, the architecture is amazing. Ooh, Steve! Wow, that's a big plaza. Holy crap, that is huge.
That's the courthouse,
massive,
the courtyard of where they do a lot of events. They'll do a race there. They actually were setting up for a race there, and
you could land a plane there.
You could do it, but that's like from one side to the other side. That's the other side entrance to the Hermitage. And no, that's actually where we entered in that little area. And then it's just, you travel all the way around it. It's a massive place. And I just loved it. This is one of my favorite photos from Russia, just because you have that tower there and it's just incredible. It's big. Yeah. And people walk around it. They had it closed off because of
guaranteed.
Probably, but they usually have it open, but they were having a marathon around that time. So they had it closed off. But it was cool, man. I liked it. That
Can I
was
put you on the spot and ask you who's on top of the column?
oh,
It's not Lord Nelson.
no. Shoot. St. John?
So,
I think it's
as far
St.
as Russian
John.
history, like what
No,
about
it's an
football?
angel. It's
Okay.
oh man.
See, this is why we
I
need a
can't
producer.
think of it right now. It's one of the oh crap. I can't think of the name. It's off the tip of my tongue. I
Agreed,
can't
Christopher. It does look like the metro subway system in Washington, D.C. Yeah, agreed. Or some of the ones in Tokyo. Did you run into
I think it's
who's
my angel Michael. I think
yeah,
that's what it
they're
is.
pretty
I think that's
religious.
the angel. It's Michael.
And what about isn't there a Russian story, Peter and the Wolf?
Yeah, that's a Russian story.
Yeah. So they're really big on their culture and their
Oh,
tradition, more so than many countries, I think.
yeah.
You have a few friends that are Russian. Okay, that's cool, Suzanne. Yeah. You know what? In the middle of Canada, on the plains of Canada or the prairies, lots of Ukrainians, lots of Russia, lots of Slavic people. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Suzanne. Don't eat the Haitian barbecue.
I'm good.
Well, I'll try anything once, Andy.
Do you know what a Haitian barbecue is?
I do, and I've eaten people before, but usually just female.
Oh, I see where you went that one. All right.
In spite of the politics, I imagine many people would be lovely. What's your take on that, Steve? Were you at war with Russia when you were there visiting?
No. This was
After
right
the Cold
before
War?
Trump got into office. They asked us about politics aside, they're lovely people. Some of the nicest people I ever met.
Okay.
Like if yeah, it was weird. That was the weird part of I love chandeliers.
Wow, me too.
That thing it's
It's
massive.
gorgeous.
And I think that is
Wow.
still the Hermitage or it's at a train station.
How many people would it have taken
A
just to do
lot.
the ceiling? Like how many
Oh,
light? Wow.
it's a lot.
Susan Eckstein says, Canadian Spider-Man, if you're looking to go back to the Caribbean, hit up my inbox so I can hook you up with a villa in Barbados and places in Trinidad. I've never been to Barbados. It is on the list. I appreciate that, Suzanne. I will take you up on that. Love to go to Barbados. Have you been to many places in the Caribbean, Steve?
I've been to the Virgin Islands.
Ooh,
Mhm.
St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Yep,
Yeah,
that was
I like
gorgeous,
those. I've been to
tropical,
Mexico,
gorgeous.
Canada, Germany,
Gorgeous.
Russia, Dominican Republic, and the Virgin Islands, even though that's still US related.
It's not
It's
like
w-
anywhere in the States.
it's not. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
tropical.
Do you agree with PvP's statement here?
Most folks in most countries are fine. It's the politics that mess it up. Yeah. If you go into the cities, just like in the States, if you go into the cities, it's all
Yep,
messed up. But if you go to the
exactly.
villages,
PvP.
that's the thing that felt very comfortable with me is it felt like the South. It's people are there to help other people out, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I learned so much of the culture there. Like in the villages, some of the married couples they've been together for so many years, and they have kids, grandkids, great grandkids. It's fantastic. We met. I was waiting when that was going to come up.
Oh dear. Hey, Moira Kitty. Hello. Welcome.
Hey.
So Steve, public buildings in Washington D.C. is
Mhm.
a good example, and New York. I gotta hand it to you. And you've have you been to Washington and New York?
Yeah.
Okay. Their public buildings are grandiose. They
Mhm.
are really like this elaborate.
Oh
When
yeah,
you said this could be a train station or a museum, you're exactly right. Because in Europe, a lot of the train stations are built like as if they were museums. A lot of the public buildings,
yeah.
same as the older ones in Canada. Yeah. And New York and Washington. Gorgeous. That is truly impressive. And that chandelier, man,
It's
that
cool,
is
man. I was
probably
like, that's awesome.
that's real crystal, real gold, I'm sure.
Probably.
Wow.
There's
That is
that's the hermit. That's in
wow.
one of the Hermitage. That's in, I think, one of the dining rooms.
Andy says Steve was the queen of his pride parade.
Yes, I was.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
you. Yeah,
He
that
knows
thing
all
is.
about pride
I
parades.
think
Andy
that's all
does.
gold plated on the ceiling. I think that whole room was all gold plated.
That's incredible. I've seen that in where's the queen live there? Buckingham Palace. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in Italy, yeah, in the buildings in Italy, and yeah, some of the most incredible buildings in the world. They have this in common, Stephen. It doesn't matter
Oh yeah.
where in Europe
It's
you go. It's like
well,
this.
I
Incredible.
was gonna go to London and film. Um, I
Let's
think it
go.
was I think it was Manchester United or Liverpool. I was gonna spend a year in
Wow,
England and
that's
film, be the
incredible.
cinematographer for them, and it just didn't work out. And I was like, oh, okay. It was a complete free trip. A year,
Oh
everything was
man,
paid for. And I'm like, oh, I could definitely, yeah. But
fantastic.
it didn't work out, and I was like, dang it. But yeah,
So,
this was the closest I got.
did you see people on scaffolding like touching up any of this? Because this is real
No.
gold paint. Like they have liquid gold paint, and guys
Yeah.
go up there and actually paint this by hand, and girls, I'm sure
They
too. But
didn't have it then. They didn't. It's
unbelievable.
usually like every once in a while, like a few years, then they'll have people come in and paint and stuff. But yeah, they didn't have
Mhm.
that.
You're right, PvP. Seeing a painting up close and seeing the artist's brush strokes is a much better experience than seeing it in a book. I agree.
All you
And
gotta do is enhance.
uh, some of the museums will actually let you like big, impressive paintings. You can go right up to them, and with your hands behind your back and showing respect and so forth. But you can get
Yeah.
like now the Mona Lisa is behind like plexiglass and behind barriers as well. But some of the like famous paintings of the world I've seen face to face, and it's surprising how, as long as you're not looking like suspicious, you can get quite close to them, Steve.
Yeah.
But you're right. Hello, Moira Kitty. Uh, didn't she? Moira's on a Lego stream of yours. Steve, you do Lego streams on Rumble as well as YouTube, do you not?
Yes, I do.
And they're quite popular.
I I didn't know they were gonna be that popular, but yeah, they are.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like
People love Lego, man.
crazy. Well, it's
Lego my
because
ego.
Raquel and Moira come on as well, and I
Yeah, once Myra comes
we have
on, it's
guests.
conspiracy night. It changes to conspiracy
That's
night,
I'd
which
love to
I'm
do a
down for.
conspiracy stream with her about
Oh man.
politics or whatever. Yep, absolutely. Hello, everyone saying hello. Andy Masterson says, "Good night, my friends. Rancor Steve, I'm so glad you escaped those Russian traffickers.
I
Oh,
dodged them.
you must tell us that story sometime."
What?
Good night, Andy Masterson. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And PvP, do you mind reading what PvP said, Steve? If
Seeing
you don't mind?
Picasso paintings 6 inches away was mind blowing. I finally realized the physical way he constructed them. That's cool,
The
man.
Yeah, brush stroke by brush stroke, the layering. Yep.
Once you've seen one painting, you've seen them all.
Suzanne says, "I will find a lot of wardrobes with painted panels." Oh yes, the wardrobes. Yeah, or sometimes dividers. Where the ladies go behind them to change and so forth.
Yeah.
Those screens, they're called the privacy screens. Those are often painted incredibly elaborate. You're right.
Oh yeah.
You're absolutely right. I've seen them in person. And hey, pop culture curator, hello and welcome to you. And so moving on, they're not. Are the rest of the pictures of chandeliers, Steve?
No, I
Oh,
just there. I think these were the
that's
only three. I
incredible.
just like that room. That room was
No,
cool. I
I'm
think that was a
teasing you,
theater
but
room.
I'm so happy that you took this shot. Look at that again. The gold in the ceilings looks 3D to me, Steve.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this
It's
is
not just a flat gold embossed. Like it's gold textured. It's 3D, folks. I don't know how it's textured. I don't know how to describe it unless you've seen
it's
it.
gold. Everything is gold. We took it from China, and we're building a wall.
Yeah, I know the Chinese could help us with that. They know how to build walls, don't they?
Yeah, well, they crumble, but oh well.
They're always. I was on the Great Wall, and I was on the clothes section. I've got a picture of me with tools
Ooh,
because we
there you go.
bribed a guard, and he let us on there, and it was
Because
a
they thought you were.
section that
They
was
thought,
closed to the public. They're rebuilding it,
oh,
and it was
that's
a
cool.
Sunday. And yeah, I've got a picture. It looks like I'm rebuilding the Great Wall of China. And I actually put that on my LinkedIn profile, like for construction jobs. It looks like I'm actually fucking construction on the Great Wall of China.
And
Swear
then
to
you gotta
God.
explain. Look, I didn't really build it. This is Photoshop.
The picture says that I did.
Okay.
I'm on the Great Wall with tools. Like clearly, I know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
doing, Steve.
That's
I
cool
can
though.
be trusted to be your construction guy.
All right, I'll hire you.
Good enough for the Great Wall.
When I'm working on my next house, I'll have you come out.
That's amazing. No, I love the fact that you appreciate art. This chandelier is art.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
it's I for some reason I just
Gorgeous.
like chandeliers. I don't know why. It's just something about it. It catches me. It's
They're
like,
elaborate. They're
yeah,
gorgeous.
it's this sucker was awesome. This is my favorite
I
chandelier
agree with
because
you.
it has
Mhm.
it's just weird and cool.
Do you mind reading this and responding to Susan Dolman if you can see it?
Susan Susan Doyle said, "Hey, have either of you seen the Harrison Ford Liam Neeson movie K-19 The Widowmaker? It was about the Soviet sub that almost went nuclear just off the east coast of the US." Yeah, I have. It's a good movie.
It's been a couple decades. That came out in the 90s?
No, early 2000s, I think.
Okay. They all blend in, Steve.
Yeah,
I was
90s,
living
early.
in
It's
I
all
just
20
moved to
years.
Whistler. I just moved to Whistler in 98. So between 98 and like 2005 is like, oh my God. You ever lived in a ski resort? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's like that. This is a wicked picture. Dude,
So that's the
it's
backpack
awesome.
I'm wearing, and that's the camera, and that's the entrance of the Hermitage,
You
and
don't look
that's where they.
suspicious at all.
No, I look like a tourist there, but that backpack was 50 pounds. And
Holy shit.
looking at it now, I'm like, I don't have that many tattoos. Like when I got back, then I started getting more tattoos. I was like, man,
Right. PvP, no other country even comes close to their ballots. I think she's referring to election procedures.
no, to their ballets.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Ballet. I'm too much of a man to know about ballet, Steve. I don't fucking know
okay.
about ballet.
I'd go to a ballet. I'm man
Yeah.
enough to say it.
Dude, some of those Russian, what was his name? Kalishnikov or no, that's
Yeah.
a gun.
Oh, you thinking about the one?
Barishnikov.
Yes.
Kalishnikov is a gun. Barishnikov was the ballet. He was fucking ripped.
He was jacked.
Built.
I saw a poster of him. I'm like, oh.
Hi, Lisa. Welcome. Oh, that was a bit loud. Sorry, folks. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. And it doesn't, again, Steve, it doesn't look like there's that many people there. Your pictures don't have
Oh,
a
there was
huge
a lot of
bunch of
people
people in
there.
them.
Because I'm good at that. As a photographer, you do it
Yep,
in a way where,
of course.
yeah.
Hello, Lisa, friend of
Hello,
both of our
Lisa.
channels. Yeah, please check out Rancor Steve on Rumble and YouTube. You can find him as Rancor Steve there. We do men's health shows as well as really cool Hollywood filming type adventures. Hello? Yes, absolutely gorgeous. Pleasant Valley Picker, good friend of ours, says, Suzanne, I'm not an expert on ballet, but I do respect their physical efforts. No kidding. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, PvP. The gold leaf is stunning. 100%. Can you imagine Catherine the Great living there? Suzanne Eckstein says, PvP, it is brutal hard work. Believe me, I studied as a young girl for many years, and I definitely have the feet to prove it. The ballet. No doubt.
Yeah.
That is, you know what? I have respect for ballet, 100%. And if there's a dude in ballet, I'm not going to tease. Well, okay, I'm going to tease him.
I'm not.
But I'm still
They're
going to have
built.
respect for him. But you
I'm
got
not
to
gonna-
tease him a little bit.
Okay, maybe for the tights, but the moment
Right.
they start picking you up, you're like, please don't hurt me, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah, no, because they are in
I didn't
great
want
shape.
me.
Yeah, no, they'd make a perfect Spider-Man, frankly. Do you mind reading our friend William Shakespeare's chat?
Yeah.
Steve?
William
Find the next picture.
Spielberg said, I've read just a bit on Russian history. IIRC, my book, said the walls of the Tsar's palace were somewhat ridiculously adorned with gold. Yeah. Not just paint, but formed art decoration made of gold. Yeah.
Wow.
So this right here, I think there's only 3 places in
There's
the
no
world.
traffic. There's no people in your photos. There's
Because
no
I
one
did
living
it.
in St. Petersburg.
I did it perfect. Mind you, I'm a
You
photographer. I know how to do this right. It took me a few minutes to get this because there's traffic going around. But
You're
there's
not
one
just
in
saying that. You're actually a photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I
with
took
training.
this picture, even though they all look slanted and whatnot. It's just I did this just for my collection, my personal collection. But there's one in Moscow, here in St. Petersburg, and one in France, and I think one in Italy. There's only 3 countries that have this structure here.
Yep.
And I think they built one in Chicago in like 18 something. But that's for like the World Fair in
Rome,
Chicago.
Paris.
Oh yeah, Rome.
Madrid.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I've seen one in Madrid. I've got a picture of it.
There's like 3 or 4 countries that have that. I'm fat. I love those things.
France, Madrid. Yeah, that's fantastic, Steve. Absolutely. And a lot of them, you can pay money, of course, and walk up to the top and be like a tourist and hang out.
This is a smaller version. I think the one in Rome is the biggest one.
Yeah.
It's either
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Paris is, I want to say 4 or 5 stories tall as well, but it's been a while. There. Yeah.
Those are the 2 biggest ones.
People watching. Hello and thank you for being here. And I also am on X as well, Steve.
Oh, you are.
So yeah, I have no idea how to tell who's on, how many are on there, but
who's on first?
I don't know who's on first. I barely know who's on.
There's 13 watching on X.
Is there?
Yeah.
You can tell that. Okay, cool. Well, hello and welcome to you. This is a premiere streaming on X because of you told me how to well, you didn't tell me how to do it. You told me that it's possible. Yes. Fantastic. PvP says, when I saw the Picassos, the guards let me go right up to them. Well, you probably weren't acting all suspicious, PvP. See, I happen to know you're a respectable gentleman, and they probably trusted you. So good for you. Do you mind reading this from Gary, Steve?
Gary said, Rancor Steve is a good sport. He takes our abuse like a king. Great show, guys. See you soon. Well, yeah.
Nice.
That's just another angle of that one.
That's fantastic. That is it. That's not small, Steve. That would easily.
No, it's big, but it's not
the
biggest one. I think it's one of the. It's in the lower small rankings.
The one in the Arc de Triomphe in Paris is maybe a little bigger, but
I think that might be. It's either Rome or Paris is the biggest one. I can't remember which one. I've always wanted to see one of those.
I can't.
There's like 3 or 4 of them in the world.
I can't remember them. I was in Rome when I was in Rome in 1991, so I don't remember. I remember a few things. I saw where Caesar was the altar where he was laid after he was stabbed. But
Oh.
yeah, I don't really. That was 91. That was a while ago. So this is gorgeous, though, Steve. Absolutely. And
Oh, yeah.
again, no traffic.
I'm good at what I do.
Did you see the crazy anti-oil activists that attacked the Mona Lisa?
No,
No, I
this
have
was-
not. PvP.
Oh, I thought you were asking me that if I was. No, I did not see them either.
No,
If I did, I'd whop them with my camera.
Oh, dude, if I'm in a museum and someone tries to attack, like, I know the security guard's not allowed to beat the crap out of him, but I sure as hell am.
We'll do it together,
if
man.
you have the right to throw stuff on our paintings, then I have the right to beat your ass.
Yeah.
I will suffer the consequences. The artists, they put a lot of time and effort. I know, I have friends that are artists. That takes a lot. If you're going to throw something on a painting, I'm going to remove your teeth. Fair trade.
Yeah.
That ceiling is not painted. I'll take your word for it. Is that a sexual joke?
It can be painted.
I guess. Wes Cagle. Good to see you.
Hey.
Good to see you. The Amber Room, located in the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, was considered an 8th wonder of the world. It would have been fantastic to see IRL, in real life. That's what IRL means. I'll be damned, in real life. But it was lost during World War II. Really? God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, we should have rules. During wars, during global conflicts, you just don't attack global history. You just
Too
don't.
late. Well, it's to wipe out the history.
The Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. The Brandenburg Gate looks like that. And I've seen it, but like it survived bombings, because I have when I was in Berlin, I have postcards from the time in 1943 or whatever, and the gate is just blown to pieces all around it, but the gate remains intact to this day. The Brandenburg Gate in Berlin also looks very similar to that. I think there is 4 of them. You're right, Steve. Brandenburg Gate. Thank goodness it's behind plexiglass. Oh, the Mona Lisa. Yes, it is. It's much smaller than you'd think. It's really only about that big. Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, no, I didn't hear about that, but thank goodness I wasn't there, because I don't want to go to jail for removing someone's teeth, but I will if I have to. Someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
No, William Shakespeare. I'm glad I didn't see it. Mona Lisa is okay. Yeah, there are some idiots out there. Hello, everybody. All right, moving on. Next picture. Ooh, Steve. Wow. That's a double staircase, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's still I don't know where that's at.
That is gorgeous.
I can't remember. We went into another building. I don't remember which building this one was.
This is why we can't have nice things. Yes, William Shakespeare.
But I just like the stair. I just like that.
It's gorgeous, Steve.
Yeah.
Yes, Lisa, this is St. Petersburg. That is gorgeous, Steve. Holy crap. And again, it's in the same building as because I recognize the ceiling structure.
It might still be the Hermitage. I took a lot of pictures of the Hermitage.
That is gorgeous. Absolutely. And see, the architecture blends in with the decor on the walls, and they make buildings like this, same as if you've ever been to Versailles. I'm probably pronouncing it the Versailles, the Sun Palace outside of Paris. Louis the 16th, I think. The Versailles, same thing. They use windows and they face the building so that they make the best use of the light coming in, and it displays all the gorgeous architecture inside and the artwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, did you see Lenin's preserved corpse?
That's in Moscow. I did not. Not.
Baroque is the architectural style in the Hermitage. I believe you, Lisa. I like the Baroque style, although I couldn't recognize it. Apart from anything. Do you mind reading William Shakespeare? And we're going to wrap up here, Steve. I won't keep it too much longer.
Oh, no worries.
You have
Canadian Spider-Man, dude. If you ever run across a chance, to see a live ballet, at least semi-procast, you must go. Trust me, you should. I've been to the Nutcracker.
Yep. Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
I went to the opera in the Shakespeare district in
I love
London.
operas.
Yep.
See, I'm a rugged man, but I will watch a ballet and opera because my
Les
grandfather at the
Miserables.
time.
Yeah.
If I
I
want to
went
take
to
a
see
nap,
Les
I'll go watch
Miserables. It was a fantastic.
Les
I shed a
Miserables.
tear. Les Miserables.
I can't
No,
stand
it was, but it's about revolution and power to the people and fuck Trudeau. You know.
Well, yeah, but it's also a revolution to fall asleep. In my opinion, I'm not a big fan of that
Well,
one.
see, if you see it in London, it's a different production altogether. I
Okay,
mean, you're in
maybe I'll give it a shot. If
Shakespeare
I'm in
district.
London, sure. I do want to see family opera. That's my favorite opera.
Fermented cinema. Cinema. Hello. All the way from Japan. So we are in Russia. See, look out for those shopping carts. I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
Is there shopping carts being used in the?
Probably, but here in California, it's the same. So I'm used to it.
Well, you know, I appreciate an athletic dude as well, but yes, I do tend to look at the females. I'm more of a look. I don't touch the females, but I do like to look at them. Agreed, William Shakespeare. Spidey, have you seen the cod pieces those ballet dudes wear? Nothing to be ashamed of. No, I 100% agree. Absolutely. Fermented Simina, hello. There was a documentary on YouTube about this guy who spent most of his life looking for the amber decorations. He thinks he knows just about where it might be hidden. Okay, I've not heard of the amber decorations. Do you know? Have you heard of these, Steve?
Not all the way. I've heard of it.
Hello.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. The shopping carts. I get what he's talking about. Yes.
Oh yeah, what was that?
They're weird.
Russia?
Like they're cool though. I know what he's talking about. They're cool. Yeah, it's because he left a comment earlier about Tucker Carlson.
$1,500 a month.
And I went nuts over them. I know what he's talking about now. Yeah,
Okay.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, let's move. We have 32 people watching live on YouTube. So hello and welcome to you. And what? Okay, this looks like a memorial of some sort.
So now we are out. I think we're out of St. Petersburg. This is in one of the small villages where they actually stopped Nazi Germany from invading Russia. This is the burial of the Russian soldiers who fought in World War II. It was awesome. Like they really take,
Cheers to that. A great many of them died, and I know that the Russian people are, I don't want to say terrified, but justifiably mortified of ever being Nazi ever again. So
yeah,
cheers to those.
Like I have respect now for
men.
Russia during World War II.
Boys, really.
Yeah.
How much would a several-month tour of Europe cost? Well, it depends on what part of Europe. I mean, are you going to London or are you going to Greece? Because it's triple the cost in London. Russia, as opposed to Germany, was cheaper, I would guess.
Russia's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I did it for $1,300.
Germany's pretty pricey. Probably, I mean, depending on, in general, PvP, if, like, I'm a backpacker, I stay in hostels and I walk everywhere. I don't take cabs. $1,500 a month, at least.
Yeah.
What was the Russian money? The ruble, and they're still on the ruble.
Yeah, they still are.
And you know what, Steve? Russia, throughout this whole pandemic, didn't print any rubles. Well, apparently, and they haven't had the inflation that we've been experiencing over here. So
no, they haven't.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
Good for them. Outside the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, the Brandenburg Gate is the most impressive structure of that type. Yes, I would agree. The Arc de Triomphe, the Brandenburg Gate, although I haven't seen this one, it looks just about the same size as the one I saw in Barcelona. Big enough. I'm surprised they don't have tours up it.
Yeah.
and especially tourist towns. Anything to make a drum, right? Anything to make a buck. Caesar died in 1991. No, from I saw it in was it 91? I think it
I think
was
you said.
91. I saw it in 91, but I think he had died there like the year before I got there, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, Steve, what is that?
So that's a Tsar Palace. It's
Wow,
it's just
it's
run down.
modest.
No one's using it. I took a few photos of this. This was a big palace,
That's an
and
actual palace that the
yeah.
Tsars lived in.
So those are different rooms we were checking out,
Wow.
and we could just walk in. It was just in the middle of nowhere. It was
Like
pretty cool.
how long ago would it have been occupied? Like within the last 100 years?
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty run down, but I mean, there's people that went to hang out there and party and all that stuff, but it was kind of cool to actually see what a rundown SARS palace was.
No kidding.
Yeah.
See any ghosts?
No. I wish.
You can make some modern art with their teeth. Yes, agreed. Fermented cinema. I don't advocate violence unless you're trying to destroy other people's creations. Then I have an issue. It's easy to create, or it's easy to destroy. It's not easy to create.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. So this is the outside of that same complex, Steve?
Yeah, so that's one of the sections of the building. It's cool looking, man. I just liked it.
Punk Waddle. Hello, the night waddler is still awake.
Hello.
Can't be a night owl anymore. It causes confusion. Hey, glad to have you here, Punk Waddle. I saw you earlier on a stream with Appion. Fantastic to see you up there, buddy. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we've got 30 people watching live now on YouTube and several more on X. So thanks for being here. All right. Well, Steve's interesting to listen to, and his pictures are. This is a horse stable.
Yeah.
Cows, horses. Ooh, did you go horse riding in Russia with Putin?
I didn't. I would have been.
You went
cool,
riding
though.
with horses with Putin, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. So, what's the deal with these stalls? They were just part of the
It's just
Tsars?
deserted. Yeah, it's part of the houses. One of the
course, because the
sections.
Tsars would have a lot of horses back then.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been the mode of transportation, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Going in there, I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, no kidding. Whoa.
And that's the courtyard.
Okay, yeah.
No, that's the courtyard going into the stables. That's what that was. That's a stable.
Fancy. Well, yeah, because the stables, like if you go to Vancouver Island, if you go to Victoria, which is the capital of British Columbia, Victoria is an old city in Canada, relatively 150 years is about as old as we get over there. And they have old state because back then that's how people got around, like by horse. And so a big part of the compound is devoted to stables and carriages, and fantastic. Yes, Stark of Iron has been entertaining all week long. You must be exhausted. I thank you for being here, though. I don't get how destroying beautiful art solves the world's problems. It doesn't. They like attention, PvP. They just like attention. They were never spanked as children.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind reading this from our friend Susan Dolan, Steve?
Susan Doyle says, Wes Kagel. There's a guy in Germany who thinks he knows where the World War II Germans hid the amber. He thinks it's in this mine, but he ran out of money before he could check it out.
Of course. So what is that? This looks like a soccer field because soccer is popular in Russia.
It is. So here's a story behind this. That entire field, Germany, after World War II, I think this is probably 15, almost 20 years old, this field is. And the kids would trip over certain things, and it was actually skeletons of German soldiers.
Oh.
And because Russia just dumped it, and then buried it.
From
Buried the
World War II.
soldiers. Yeah. And so Germany's like, hey, can we take our soldiers and do a proper burial? In return, we will build you a state-of-the-art soccer track and field. So that's what they did. That place was a burial of Nazi soldiers.
Wow.
And so kids would trip over them. And for years this happened. And then Germany's like, hey, good gracious, can we take the soldiers so we can have a proper burial? In return, we'll do this. That is the best soccer field I've ever played on. I'm not kidding. It was awesome.
Wow.
And I got my butt kicked playing soccer.
Dude, I just trying to wrap my head around what you just said, buddy.
Yep. Same here.
I mean, how do you, did the kids know what they were tripping over? And how do you,
you knew.
They needed therapy, I would imagine. Well,
not really. They just knew. It was just,
no, Russian people are tougher. They don't need fucking therapy like we do all these days, right? Like,
but it was,
did you notice that in the psyche, the Russian mentality is like, yeah, we've lost literally half of our men in World War II. We've been through it all. You name it, we can take it. We are tough motherfuckers. We're just gonna.
Well, it's just history that they've done from the 1600s and on. It's just they've been through a lot, and so yeah, they're going to be a little tough.
Yes.
And so and the kids that we played with, like the nicest people. That's the thing; they're nicer than most Americans. Whenever I travel to different countries, like people are it's different. Like when you ask kids, like, oh, in the States, what do you want? I want $1,000. I want $1 million. I want an iPhone. I want this and that. If you go to a country that's like villages in Russia, not saying Russia's poor, but if you go to a village, it's specifically where it's like, I want food for my family. I want this. I want that stuff to help your family. I'm like, why can't we have that? This was one of the guys who was in charge of the whole team that went to Russia, and I was like, this is a cool photo. Like, look how straight that field is.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Straight no curves like a pride.
Your mama danced on. I'm kidding. Sorry, what?
It's nothing like San Francisco. Hey.
PvP has a question for you. St. Petersburg is Russia's crown jewel of Russia, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Hidden away in the Vatican. Yeah, I'd love to have access to the vaults of the Vatican.
I'll just throw out my Master Mason ring and they'll let me through. Kidding.
Hidden at the Vatican to keep it from the Nazis, but the amber isn't there. Okay. And Spider-Man, my truck is white with red wrap if Trudeau all over it. Beautiful sight to behold. Oh, F Trudeau all over it. Yeah, well, you know what's on my, and that can be seen out the front window. Everyone driving by can see that flag, and that has been to many a rally.
It says, I heart Trudeau.
That's right, I heart Trudeau. Fermented Cinema says Tucker Carlson went nuts over a shopping cart in Moscow that used coins. It was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
Oh, Liam Neeson did Les Miserables. I've not seen that, Christopher Dominguez. I've only seen the opera in London. Yeah, interesting. Do you mind reading this?
Yeah, Tony Stark says, let these fine folks know I am still taking submissions for my parody song contest. I'm going back to the death races. Love you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a town in Veliki Luki. This is the Veliki Luki town.
I love
They're
that name.
famous for doing what you see right here. Once a year, we went close to the, I don't even know how many years, but
see you later, Tony. Thanks.
They
Tony.
would have air balloons every year,
amazing.
And it's like massive. It's that's what they're known for, is that, and it's cool.
That is so cool. And how many were there? Just the one?
There was a few, but I just caught that one. I was like, all right, this was near the end of the trip, and I was like, all right, I got to take a picture.
Fermented cinema. Yeah, we've been going for about an hour and a half now. And how long ago was this trip, Steve?
This was June, July of 2015.
Okay, June, July of 2015. So not that long ago, really, all things considered. That because the last 4 years have fucking flown by, haven't they, Steve?
Yeah. Right.
Do you mind reading Susan Dolan's, please?
Yeah, she says Christopher Dominguez. I missed that one, but I did see the original with Michael Rainey, and the last one with Russell Crowe and Hugh Jackman.
Yes, I saw that one as well. I like Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe. William Shakespeare says Les Miserables is arguably the most popular American musical in the world, if we judge that by something like global ticket sales for all time, and it definitely deserves it. Yeah, I liked it, 100%. Oh, Suzanne X-Teen, well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry to hear that you've been in bed for the past few days. Hopefully your week gets better. I mean, can't rain all the time, according to the Crow. I'm glad you're here, though. Same with you, PvP. Off season. Is Russia? Is there an off season for Russia? What do you think, Steve?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Was summer tourist
it was
or
pretty packed. And okay, so here's a question I have for you guys. What time do you think that is taken?
in the evening? Probably.
No, I'll ask that on a different picture. There's another picture. I'll ask it. It's better.
Okay. Absolutely. Take all the time you need to rest, friends of the channel. Caesar. Oh, I just missed him. Caesar. Yes. I did just miss. Yeah, I know. What can you do? Missed him by a year. Ooh.
Okay, they have this thing about tea.
Is that the tea that they tried to give Rasputin to kill him?
Maybe.
They poisoned him, I think. Repeatedly.
Yeah. So there's a thing with teas. The spoon. You take the tea bag into the spoon, and then you wrap the twine around it, and then you pull it until it leaks out all the tea in the tea bag. I had so much tea, it's ridiculous. Every night I had tea.
Well, it's the Asian influence, I would assume.
Probably, but it was a lot of tea that I had, and it was fantastic.
In Russia, wow, because you don't really think of, when you think of Russia and beverages, tea's not one that jumps to mind.
It's big. Every house we went to in the small villages, they offered us tea.
Okay.
So that is one of the interpreters. I think Anton was his name. And yeah, I look like a hobo. And yeah, I was like, he loved my tattoos, and he's like, I want to get tattoos just like you. he was very athletic.
And did you see many people with tattoos over there, or not really?
Not really. It's not as popular. In St. Petersburg, I did. But the other villages, not so much.
Oh, hey. Hey. Dead man walking. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Just got woken up by an excited kid. Well, hopefully it was your own. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Okay, so I played a lot of volleyball, and my legs were killing me. And I thought this was a funny picture of me icing my legs. It was, yeah. I think we did ultimate frisbee and volleyball like for 8 hours straight. Like I was beat.
Wow, that's okay. And so you could get modern first aid in Russia.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, because I remember watching Moscow on the Hudson with Robin Williams, and I know he freaked out over toilet paper.
Yeah, you never flush the toilet paper. You have to put it in a garbage can.
Same as Yeah, a lot of
A lot
Central
of
America,
places. Yeah.
Mexico, Asia, look, basically everywhere except in North America.
Okay, so what time does anybody in the chat think this is? I think I told you Canadian Spider-Man.
Time for a haircut.
Yeah, definitely. So here's the crazy thing about Russia is this is done at I think 11 at night.
Wow. 11 at
And
night.
like
True.
10 or 11 at night. At midnight, at 12, the sun goes down, and at 3 in the morning, the sun comes back up.
What? It's like the
Yeah.
Yukon. That's when I was working up in
Yeah.
the Yukon. It was like that.
And so,
And it never really goes down. Like it's still sort of dusk.
yeah, you get maybe an hour or two of the sun actually going down. It was very difficult to fall asleep for the first week, but it was trippy to actually be there. And because I think you might get northern lights in parts of Russia.
Oh, I'm sure you would. Yeah, I'm sure.
But
you
yeah,
would.
it was kind of
Hi,
cool,
Don
man.
McDouglas. Welcome. Welcome. So that's trippy. Did you know that the light that it stayed light?
They let us know ahead of time.
Okay, because that's hard to get used to. Trust me.
Yeah.
I don't send my son to nobody, and I will homeschool him. Yes, that is Spider-Man approved. I agree, Don McDouglas. Who's the best teacher for your kids? If you can, if you're able to, I believe you. Okay, that's a. You do look Russian though, Steve.
I know.
Like, did you? Okay, and we're back to the start, but that. I mean, did you pass yourself off as Russian?
Some people thought I was Russian. Yeah, some people thought I was Russian. It was a lot of fun. My favorite thing was borscht. I love that.
Yeah.
Ah, crap! I forget what's in it. Beets, and then.
No kidding. I believe you, Don. Homeschool as well, Suzanne. Yes, excellent. I like homeschooling. Beautiful. So, what was your overall impression, Steve? Just in general, what are your takeaway thoughts there?
Everything that you hear about Russia on the news, like, that's the thing that I learned is when you hear things from, like, especially in the States where the news is like, oh, this and that, go check it out. Sometimes it can be a little scary. Like when I was getting on the flight to go back to the States, it can be a little nerve-wracking because if they don't like how you look, if you give a weird look on your face, like they can send you to be questioned. But other than that, it wasn't bad. I loved it.
Good.
I really did, just because I like the history of it and everything. And it's a lot of what you hear about Russia. It's nothing. The people in the small towns, they're loving. That's the thing.
They're like small towns anywhere. And the more the mainstream media tells me to hate Russia, the more I'm not going to hate Russia.
Yeah, they're pro-Christian.
I mean, if you want to hate Russia, you're going to hate that guy. I'm not going to hate him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like,
no look at him. He's cute. There's a cute little. I don't even like kids, but
he was cool. I liked him. He actually sat on my lap and fell asleep one time.
Oh, nice.
He just chilled.
No English.
No, he just chilled with me. I was just chilling.
What do they call a volleyball in Russia?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, but you played volleyball with him, didn't you?
Yeah, I think they just said. I don't even know what they said. They just said they had the volleyball, and they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." But yeah,
I agree, Suzanne. I love Liam Neeson, and I saw him in Rob Roy, and hell yeah, that is a man's man. Liam Neeson. I hope he's in the hat for Man-O-Rama, Steve.
He might.
Liam Neeson.
He might.
Yeah, we do Man-O-Rama, folks. Steve, while we're here, do you mind?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Man-O-Rama?
So I do a show called Woman-O-Rama. No, I'm just kidding. So I do a show every Tuesday called Man-O-Rama, and it's a men's health awareness show, and where we talk about we did a lot of like life skills of like, hey, like how do guys deal with oh man, I create the topics and I blank out like anger, um just life skills, and then how to deal with your ego and how to be a leader and whatnot. So we're gonna
Yeah,
start going into more celebrating men, and we did the Second Amendment 2 nights ago or a few nights
that was
ago.
so
It was
popular.
fun. It was
That
a
was
lot
so
of fun.
popular.
That show, I think that show
Don't
revived
want.
it. That episode
It's good to
revived
hear.
it. And
That was a lot of
next
fun.
week
And
we're doing
Byron was
cars.
a great guest. I'm glad he
I
came
want
on.
him on again.
Yep,
And so we're
good
just
idea.
gonna do more of celebrating what it is to be a man and have fun. That's what we do. I also do a Lego build on usually Friday nights, sometimes Saturday, kind of depends. That's not a very scheduled show. It's just whenever I get a chance to do it. This weekend I'm not. I have work.
And
I think I'm working on the house.
it's you and guests on your
Yeah,
Lego
so
build. Sometimes you have a few people on the panel.
yeah, so Man-O-Rama is strictly just guys to come on and talk about things, and then maybe once in a while I might bring some females on. We'll see. We'll see how that cooks out.
No, that's
But
a
Lego
bad idea.
build,
That's a terrible idea.
a lot of people have said the same thing. We'll see.
I
And
mean,
then
but
hmm?
you're positive. Your show, you never put down women to put men up. You do not do that. You never do that.
Right.
We admire women, and you put men up, and you advise them how to be better men. And
We
not that we're experts. We try. We just share stories. We have
Yeah,
no idea what the fuck
I
we're
will
doing. We
say
just
this.
share stories.
If we have put down some women, but those are women who hate men to a level where it
Right.
becomes toxic, and we make fun of the idea of like, why are you doing it? That's where we come around from it. We come
Right.
at it in a humorous way because it's ridiculous. Men need women and women need men. It's just flat out. That's how it is. And it's always
It's
been
a
like
yin
that.
and yang.
Yeah.
Yin and
It's
yang.
women being married. I understand a lot more that my wife balances me out a lot. Like I come to her for the topic. So like, hey, how do I word the title of the episode? She helps me with some of the episodes. So I really respect her in that, and she's a lot smarter than me.
Do
And
you? I was just going to ask. Do you respect your wife truly, and does she respect you?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
And that's key.
Like I push her
Key.
I push her to challenge herself on a lot of things, and she's not the challenging type much, but I always push her like, let's do this, and vice versa. Like marriage to me it's a job. It works both
Right.
ways. It's not 50-50.
That
It's
is.
you just work. And then
Mhm.
so the Lego build is more open for anyone to come on. Open conversation. That's on Rumble and YouTube. I'm coming back on YouTube. But with Rumble we can pretty much say a lot of things. And then every
Yep.
once in a while I'll have some of the guys who've been on the show and then bring some people who haven't been on Man-O-Rama to do more conversations. That's the
M-
podcast of Man-O-Rama.
When you say more conversations, you mean
Like open
MOR.
yeah. It's
Man-O-Rama.
abbreviation. Yeah, it's abbreviation to
MOR.
the Man-O-Rama late
I
night
see
talk
what you did
show.
there.
Yeah, I didn't I want to say I planned it, but I had yeah.
Good
And
night,
it
Suzanne. Good night, Susan.
good
Good
night.
night, PvP. Oh, PvP's going tonight. Going
Oh.
to bed. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No
I
worries.
just trying to keep an eye on the
So
kind
more
chat. We have a lot of people joining us
I
tonight.
know, man.
Thank you so
I
much for
just
being
realized
here.
there's a comment section here, and I just opened it up.
Oh, you did?
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
realized
No,
that.
yeah. Welcome
Took
to.
me 2 hours almost, but yeah,
Oh,
it's more
thanks so much
conversation
for being
is
here. You are
dude, I
so
had a blast.
interesting. Blew my expectations, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. That's the thing. Don't believe everything the media says. Russia is a fantastic place. I like it a lot.
Okay, so that's because the media. Do you? I mean, I'm in Canada. You're in America. We are
Mhm.
on the same coast. And I just want to acknowledge everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here. We're not done yet, folks. I've got a couple of political questions because I know
Oh.
you are a political kind of guy. I have no aspirations. I know YouTube is never gonna monetize this channel, not after things I've said and shown on camera. So, although never my wee, not yet. So we can get political. You can say whatever you want here. I do not believe in censored speech. Absolutely do not. If someone is saying stupid, false, hateful things, give that person a microphone and let them expose themselves for who they are. So whatever you want to say, but Russian politics, my question is, do you find the media in America, much like in Canada, the mainstream media, do they want you to feel a certain way about Russia?
Yes.
Describe it.
I'm not saying Putin is a good guy. I'm not. I will say he's done some good things for Russia, like bring Christianity back into the country. He's very much a religious
If you
type
wanted
person.
to be fair, you would have to admit that.
Yeah, it's not all bad. Not how would I say? Man, how would I say it? It was perfect in my head. Now I can't. It's I'm not saying Putin is a good guy. He's done some good things, and I can respect that about him on those things, just like any other politician and any other leader. So there are some people who've done some really bad things, but also have done maybe some good things to help their country out. Again, not saying they're perfect. How the media portrays Russia, it's more of a division type move. And I think that people need to kind of chill out and not. I don't think people really believe what the media says these days much anyways.
Not
There's some
100%, do they?
Yeah.
Well, we've
So
been lied to too many times.
exactly. That's the
Either
thing.
by accident or negligence or all three on purpose.
Yeah.
Or a combination of those three for whatever
But
reason.
do I believe in communism? No. I'm more of a capitalist.
I don't want to pay for someone else's shit.
Right.
And I want to own property.
How Russia is run
off season, spring or fall?
Maybe fall. Because of the winters. I would say fall.
And they've got beautiful colors in the trees like Canada does in the fall, I bet.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. But
so you don't buy what the media in America is trying to sell you completely. I mean, because everyone has good and bad, right? I mean, even Darth Vader could be redeemed. Luke Skywalker, no one else believed it, but Luke Skywalker fucking believed that Darth Vader could be redeemed.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. It's the best judgment I can say is go to the place. Visit it, meet the people. It's a cultural thing. I think everyone, especially in the States, they should visit other cultures and understand. Not saying go to Hades. I almost went there one time. Don't go to Hades. That's one place. Just don't. Just avoid it.
Grand Cayman has a town called Hell. I sent a postcard from Hell. It's a stop on the cruise on Carnival Cruise Lines.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, I don't believe anything of what's going on with Russia and all that stuff. I try to stay. Wow. This is the most I've voiced of it. This show right here, I voiced my opinion as much as I have right here. I don't really voice.
Can feel free.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ukraine.
30 people on YouTube watching.
Yeah,
I won't judge
people,
you.
If I lose
hello, people watching on X.
Yeah, if I lose followers or people who watch my stuff, if I lose that because I'm against Ukraine, then so be it.
Not if you're being sincere and honest.
Yeah, I know a little history of Ukraine, and I'm like, you know what? Nothing adds up to that, and it's. Yeah, you dig in a little bit more than what the media says. That's what I'll do. Your own investigation. I'll say that when it comes to anything
they tell
political.
Me to hate Russia, the more I'm suspicious.
Yeah,
that's all.
So,
and I know that Putin is not the most of the leaders that could possibly be leading Russia. The man has done horrible things, no question. But he's not the worst one of the people that could be leading Russia.
No,
he's
it's
moderate.
Like Stalin.
Yeah. Anyway, the chat has probably exploded now that we're into
I know they're like, "Ooh, who you picking?"
politics. So let's not ignore the. Ooh, you have tats. Can you please read our friend PvP?
Yeah, when I took my 55 training to get back 5 years ago, a classmate said, put up your hand if you have a tat. No one had one. Yeah.
You flush in Japan. Yeah, some toilets, but I've been in places where you can't put the paper down the toilet in Japan, fermented cinema. And I know living in rural areas like you have, I know you've also been to places you can't always flush. But yes, whether it's a Turkish style or the rocket ship space shuttle type electric toilet. Guessing 10 p.m. It started at 9:30.
Or
And
no, he's
thank
talking
you for
about the
your.
picture. He's talking about the picture.
Oh,
He was close.
we started 9:45, right? We're coming up on 2 hours. Thank you for your time, Steve. I know you're
Yeah, no
really
problem.
got a lot. You have a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm so happy to be a part of. I mean, there are a lot of men out there that feel they can't really talk or open up about some of the issues that they
Mhm.
are feeling, and where women have, maybe they have more outlets to talk. They tend to be more social with their friends, and they can talk more, but men don't. And you're doing something that is, again, it's not a negative focus, it's positive.
Yeah.
Men's advice, men's health, and not that we again have perfect advice. You bring on guys and they just share their stories and their experiences and their viewpoints, and you're doing good work there, and it's something that's needed. And your show on the Second Amendment, we did get a little bit into the politics, a little bit there, and that was
Yeah.
fun, and that was a really popular show.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it a lot.
Well, thanks for letting me be a part of it.
No problem, man.
All right, well, I'm just gonna wrap up the chat here because we are done with the pictures. Now, what was what were the prices like in Russia? Was it as expensive as you thought?
No, it wasn't. It was a lot cheaper.
Excellent.
Like it
And
was pretty cheap.
you didn't see Northern Lights while you were there.
No, not that's more in the fall,
Ooh,
like
did
fall,
you eat
spring.
borscht?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Nice. So do I. And that's pickled cabbage, right? Basically.
It's pickled beets and
Oh,
maybe
okay.
some cabbage.
Suzanne Eckstein says your pictures have been very beautiful. Thank you
Oh,
for
thank
showing
you.
us your
No
travels,
problem.
Steve. Yeah. Fermented Cinema says you can hate governments, but don't hate their people.
Mm-hmm.
The people. It's the same way with China. I would 100% agree. I spent a month in China. I would absolutely agree with that. Although, don't try to negotiate with a Chinese woman. Good friggin' luck there. Or any country. Most people are good people, but sadly, turds float to the top. Yeah, 100%
Mm-hmm.
fermented. And hey, man, you're one fella that I really do want to have. He's in Japan there. He's been living there for
Oh
quite a
yeah,
while.
that'd be cool.
His Japanese makes, I'm embarrassed to speak it in front of him, but we will anyway. You know what? We're gonna have a stream, and we're gonna speak mostly Japanese with explanations, of course. And I think we're gonna talk a lot about Japan. I think he's as keen as I am to do that because I was there a year and a half, and he's been there for years and years.
My folks just went to Japan.
How did they like it?
My mom's like, I wanted to visit all the like villages, but they liked it. It was cool. My stepbrother lives out in
Expensive.
Japan. Oh yeah.
Russia is a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there. I'd rather just
Why
visit.
not?
Yeah, just visit.
You
Okay,
you feel free?
I
Because
would
there's some
say,
crazy fuckers over there. They seem to be free to do some crazy ass shit on videos.
well, yeah, but I would say anyone who stayed somewhere for a month or more, they've lived there. So yeah, I lived in Russia for a
Right.
month.
Yes. If you've been there a month or more, you have a good idea. You got to, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
good
good
understanding.
Yes. Thank you, PvP. You can always tell the KGB. They have no sense of fashion. Is that true? Could you tell? Do you think who was working for the government when you?
Yeah.
And do you think you were followed because you had all the camera gear and stuff?
Yeah. I knew who was following me. It wasn't that hard. It makes sense.
Did they have a sense of fashion?
No. No.
Suzanne Eckstein is complimenting you on your show.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what she says?
Sure.
She says, Rancor Steve, that's you. That sounds great. The Man Show would be great for the young men that don't have a male role model to learn from. That's right. It's called Man-O-Rama. And one of the episodes I remember, we did how to be a better son and how to be a better father. And that was an
a good
emotional
one.
show. And
Yeah.
it was fantastic. And
See, not all men are stupid, misogynist people. We have because here's the thing: that show actually sets it up to where
if we want
guys.
to be.
Well, yeah, but the show because men we don't like to talk about
night,
our
PvP.
feelings and talk about things very much. We don't, but because we
Well,
don't
we're not
have an
supposed
outlet.
to. Because you don't
That's
want to
what
show people you're
society
weak.
says.
We will
But
get judged for it.
But here's the thing: if you set it up a platform where guys just get to talk, where the opening is "How's your week been?" That's how I started off, and then we just go from there. And yeah,
agreed. Good
yes,
men love good women.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Repeated twice on Sunday. It's basic biology. Ooh, he knew what I was going to say. Yes, you're correct. It is the yin and the yang, and your wife would possibly agree with that, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
The yin and the yang. You know, the Chinese symbol, I think it is with the two tadpoles. The one is the black and the white. We are matched. Each need each other. Sleep well, PvP. Yes. Have a good night. And so, did you feel politics when you were over there? Did you get into political being over
Not
there?
really. They asked me.
And being American, did you talk about politics, or did you think you'd get in trouble for talking politics?
In the small villages, they always go, "Did you vote? Did you like Obama?" I was like, "No." And they're like, "We don't like him either."
Excuse me. So, did you feel like it was a taboo topic?
No, they just didn't. They didn't really bring it up because that wasn't their thing. They just wanted to like talk about normal things, like what do we do for work, and what do we do for a living, and all that stuff. So it's that kind of stuff.
Was there anything that's a good night pop culture? Good night, Suzanne Eckstein, and thank you so much for being here. This was interesting. Steve, again, thanks for your time, man. I know,
no problem.
You know, the most important thing in our life is time, and you gave 2 hours of it tonight, so thank you. And plus,
you get on my stuff all the time, and it's like once I mentioned Russia in one of the chats, you're like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Hey, I'll come on and talk about Russia with you, man."
This is a gorgeous building. I mean, we're standing here looking at a picture. What's different about it? And I'll get rid of this just so we can have a really good view of it. What's different about it? Looking at this picture, and then you're as opposed to standing in front of it.
Standing in front of it, it's more of an artistic feel. You get the gravitas of the building. It's one of my favorite churches. It's just massive, and it's cool.
And they have services inside still.
Yeah, they do.
Did you get to hear the bells?
No.
Oh, really?
I heard one of the bells somewhere. I can't remember which church had that one. But
in the Latin American places that I've been to, they seem to ring the bells all the friggin' time. They love ringing those things.
Like up at the top over here, like the little art thing, that was cool. Like it's just detailed. That's the thing. It's all details for them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. That's fantastic. Yeah. And okay. Did it feel? I mean, did it feel communist over there? Did it feel restrictive while you were there?
Just a little bit. I mean, I've been to different communists.
Steve, we've been leaving you comments all night, dude. Yeah, you have.
I realize that now. Like, I've been to other socialist and communist countries, so I kind of already got the feel of it. So I was kind of used to it. It's just as long as you're respectful to where you're going, that's all. It's like you're in no man's land. Just be respectful.
I'd appreciate you doing the same when you come to Canada, frankly.
No, I own Canada when I get there.
Oh, see. Ooh. Yeah, I've seen you, American tourists. You come up to Whistler Ski Resort. You go up to the high altitude where we have our high altitude restaurants coming from Seattle at sea level. You guys go up to the high altitude restaurants up at the
We're all
peak
passed
of
out.
our mountains, and then you start having our 5.5%, 6% beers, and we carry you down the fucking hill.
Dude, I would love to do that.
Let's do it.
We should do a Man-O-Rama at the highest peak. Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I know
Oh.
Whistler. I've lived there 20 years, dude. I will
We're gonna
take you
have
to
to.
some
I think we're gonna
places
have to
that we
have
will
Man-O-Rama travel to
regret
different
going to.
places.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing this. So Russia, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rank it as far as tourist destinations in the world?
From where I've been at, I would say maybe a
You're right.
6, somewhere around
Okay.
there, up there.
And
If you haven't been to St. Petersburg, go check it out. It's cool.
exactly. Fermented Cinema says, I don't drop my subscriptions. And by that, he means the channel
Yeah,
subscribes to just because we don't agree on an issue. That's just weak.
yeah.
I agree, Fermented Cinema. I support all creators, and unless they're malicious, and you do not find that hardly at all, unless if they're destructive, that's one thing. Other than that, there's plenty that I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, if we start talking religion, Steve and I are on probably opposite sides. But it doesn't mean I would cancel their subscription. Good point, Fermented Cinema. And
Yeah.
it's like that with Russia, right? I mean, who are there people that you couldn't talk to about your Russia trip now? Like friends, or who would get
No, I could talk about it.
okay?
People, that's not a problem. It's just in small villages, they were kind of cautious of what to say and stuff. I got that sense. They were kind of waiting to talk about certain things, and it made sense. Like,
You're right, Lisa. Every country does have propaganda. Holy crap. Including Canada, including America. It's just their own propaganda, 100%. To thine own self be true. Shakespeare. You're right, William Shakespeare. Well, way to class up the stream. Article 5, Ukraine joins NATO. All those countries are at war immediately. That's correct, Lisa. See, that's a thing. We promised Russia that Ukraine would never join NATO because that's like right on their back door, their front step. That's like putting Russian missiles in Cuba. You remember when they tried to do that?
oh
That
yeah,
didn't go over so well. So now we're basically doing the same thing. Of course they're gonna react. So there are two. You know what, Steve? There are two sides to every story. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Like I
Yep.
said, just doing your investigation. Don't believe
Yep.
everything the media says.
Yeah, exactly. And I got your private message, and
All
yeah,
right.
Roger that. Thank you so much for being here, Steve. We are going to finish up. We could talk politics about Russia all night long.
Oh yes, we could.
Hello and
Ah,
hail. Thanks for being here. Yeah, hate the game, not the player. Exactly. And we're going to go through the chat and just wrap it up. Excellent. Thanks for being here, everyone. If I'm back in BC this summer, let's do a light camping stream. Oh my god, dude!
that would
If
be
you
cool.
come back to BC from Japan, I will meet you in BC wherever you are, and we will absolutely do a stream together. Fermented Cinema, 100%. Absolutely, that'll be great. That'll be a blast. Yep, we'll try and get Steve up to come with us and do some woods activities up here in Canada. Thank you so much. Don McDouglas, yes, this is Rancor Steve, and I am going to put your link in the chat here, Steve. Before we go, any final thoughts, just quickly on Russia? Any final words on Russia here in the last minute?
The Russian women are beautiful. I will say that for sure. Yes.
Traditional.
Yeah, some are. But I would say this, learn like if you meet someone from another country, learn their history. Like just learn. Like
Why?
you're gonna learn a lot of new things, and it's like Canada, wherever you are, you may think, wow, this is a lot of history here. But when you go to like other places like Europe, there's a lot of history there. And just my whole thing is I love American history. I love world history. I love the art. I love all that stuff. It's See, you would never think of that with me, but it's something fun that you should learn is just the art of other countries and just
No,
enjoy
it's
them.
true.
You don't have
It's
to
very
believe in anything what they say, but just enjoy their art because you learn a lot from them. I'll say that.
That's it. Yeah, a lot of the art is historical, or yeah, yeah. You look very excited here in this photo.
I was exhausted. I was ready to go home after this picture. I was like, I'm ready.
Well, thanks so much.
No problem, man.
It's been 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. So thank you. Fermented Cinema, you're damn right. It'll be awesome. I will come. Um, my boss, I contract out to him, so he's flexible, and I will make time. I might bring a buddy with me. Yeah, let's go camping in BC if you come back. 100%. Thank you, Miskatonic Madman. There you go. You can find Rancor Steve here on YouTube and on Rumble. You also stream on X. Where do we find you? Do we find you at Rancor Steve?
No, if you type in
No.
Rancor Steve on Twitter or X, that account is suspended. Just because of a only because of a gift that I posted. Don't post the Punisher gift. You will actually get suspended. I did not know that. It was not even for anything controversial or anything. It was to a friend, and that's but you can find me on X at not Rancor Steve.
Yes. Right.
So I'm
Literally.
yeah.
Not Rancor Steve.
So you can find me there. And that's where you can find the updates of the shows and stuff, who's going to be on and everything. So it's a lot of fun.
You know, it's a positive men's health. I don't want to say advice because we're it's not like any of us know what we're really doing. It's just
We give out some advice, but not it's just experience.
It's experience. We found success in parts of our lives, and here's what we did, and you know, we learn more from our failures, if anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find Rancor Steve there. There's not a lot of shows like it, and occasionally, you know what, we get 100 people watching him build Lego, believe it or not. So
yeah, if you like to watch Lego building, check us out.
Yes, I have. I lived on Vancouver Island in Victoria for 3 years in Esquimalt, and I traveled all over Vancouver Island, and I did hiking on Hornby Island. Absolutely. All off the coast between Vancouver, mainland, and Vancouver Island. Thank you so much. It has been a fantastic live. It's been a challenge, but I'm getting better keeping up with the chat. Yep. Oh, Hornby Island's gorgeous. Rancor Steve, you're not wrong. I think just in general. So I would agree. Thanks for being here.
No problem, man.
Good night, everyone. We are going to end it here. Thanks so much. Join me next Thursday. Who's on next Thursday? I think we might be doing Japan next Thursday. I'll have to check. Yeah. Thanks for. I would love to chat with you more because you've been to other places. All right. I hope to have you on again sometime. Thanks.
My pleasure,
good night,
man.
folks. Catch us this Tuesday. Man-O-Rama.
Talking about cars.
Maybe guns.
Maybe. We might do it. I don't know. We'll see.